Hello, welcome. This is Martha Hines with Living the One Light. So I want to make a video for a couple of different reasons. The first one is I am feeling really called to speak to a major transit that's coming up in just about a month on July 31st, August 1st time frame. And I'll speak to that in a second. And then also I am wanting to say thank you so much to all of you who attended the Rebecoming the One Symposium, which is still available for free. It's going to be available indefinitely. So if any of you watching don't know what I'm talking about, please go to my website, livingtheonelight.com, and you can sign up for this free symposium called Rebecoming the One, where we had 42 speakers talking about and holding space for the healing of our relationships to gender and sexuality on many, many, many different levels. So we explored the healing of this time on a big scale. We explored various aspects of gender identity, the wholeness of gender, non-binary realities, what it means to be transgender, et cetera, et cetera. We had a lot of talks that essentially question the ways that we have been conditioned to think of gender. Then we also did explore the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and divine sexuality and sacred union. Again, holding space in all of this, holding space for all gender identities, all sexual orientations, trying to really reconceive of how we approach gender and sexuality with the understanding that many of us, even most of us, are not only heterosexual and cisgender. So yeah, many, many, many conversations again around gender. And then also we had talks and conversations that draw the connection between this healing of our relationship with gender and sexuality to pretty much any other issue we have on this planet, such as racism, environmental destruction, the need for racial justice, the need for environmental justice, and the need for peace and love on every level. So yeah, there's 42 talks. We had an opening ceremony. It's really, really beautiful, and 4 panel discussions, and it's all available for free indefinitely on livingtheonelight.com, which is my website. So please do go there if you're interested. Share it far and wide. It is meant to be a living, breathing community resource indefinitely. And I will be continuing to do more interviews over the coming year. And then next year, we're planning to do a part 2. So I would love input. I would love feedback. I have loved hearing from those of you who did attend and did write to me. It's really, really means a lot to me. And I've grown so much over the past few months. And I feel really deeply touched and blessed by what I've heard from those of you who were there. Yeah, so that I'll say that. But then switching gears a little bit, what I haven't done a whole lot of over the last 3 months when I've been holding the space for the symposium is really bring through what it is that me, Martha, I'm meant to bring through. And so the spirit world is kind of redirecting me, saying, okay, so come back to the messages that, I'm needing to come through you specifically, and the healing work that I'm also here to do just as me, as Martha, both on my own and then in conjunction with some other people. So I wanted to bring through a message that the spirit world is really wanting me to speak to today, and it's very relevant for kind of, well, actually, in a sense, anytime, but it's particularly feeling relevant as we have this very significant astrological event happening around August 1st, which is the north node of the moon will be conjuncting Uranus at the same time that Mars comes along also and sits in the same part of the sky where Uranus and that north node are going to be at around 18 degrees Taurus. So there's, you know, like with any astrological event, there's so many different ways, different angles to see it, to approach it. And I respect so many of those. What I'm feeling called to say about this one, what the spirit world keeps emphasizing to me and has been emphasizing for a while, is the need for us to remember ourselves as the divine, which of course we are, we all know this, but actually to come into the resonance, the vibration, the actual vibration that is us as the divine. So we often think of, you know, trying to raise our vibration and then raise our vibration more and then continually raise our vibration. And I don't see an issue with that, but what the spirit world keeps saying to me is the striving to raise our vibration in a sense doesn't make that much sense, because ultimately the vibration that they want us to be at and that we want to be at really is ourselves as the divine. That's the ultimate, like there's nothing beyond that. There's no more raising our vibration beyond simply being what we are, which is the vibration of the divine. So Uranus is often associated with vibration and the intelligence of the divine. So Ari Moshe Wolf, who's my main astrology teacher, talks about Uranus, wherever Uranus is, that's the divine intelligence of that thing. And the North Node coming to meet up with Uranus is an energetic that is helping to pull us into that vibration of ourselves as that intelligence of the divine. And then Mars coming along and also coming into alignment with North Node and Uranus activates that. And actually what I feel when I feel into those three energetics is Mars having a role of also clearing, like clearing the path, clearing the way. And then this is all happening in Taurus, at 18 degrees Taurus, so in the middle degrees of Taurus. And Taurus has to do with Earth and our bodies and ourselves as beings on this earth and beings who chose to be here and the pleasures of being here and the acceptance that we're here in bodies on the earth and we're in co-creation with the planet Earth herself. So the big message that the spirit world is wanting me to convey is that this conjunct, you know, many conjunctions, many astrological events and many world events right now, as we know, as is super obvious, can be very destabilizing, can feel extremely disruptive, can feel very scary, upsetting. It takes, you know, negative half a second for us to realize that there's a lot going on this planet that we are not happy about, that does not feel good. And so yeah, this particular conjunction or event astrologically, certainly we have Mars involved, we have Uranus involved, definitely has the potential to feel disruptive and have things unexpected happen and all of that, right? And at the same time, one of the ways that I think of Uranus is that it's it's always in relationship to Saturn, but in particular in this time frame over the last year and then this year or two, it's in this 3/4 square with Saturn, and Saturn is squaring the nodes. So, and Saturn happens to be in Aquarius, which is the sign associated with Uranus, right? So there's this big relationship going on between Uranus and Saturn. And one way I think of Saturn is in its essence, it's that gentle yin energy that gives us the opportunity to have form that we're needing in order to be supported in just the right way to be here in physical form and to act in the ways that we need, right? It's like, it's the energy that can hold us, contain us in the most healthy way possible. And there are lots of things associated with Saturn that aren't that. But at its essence, that's how I like to think of Saturnian energy. That's one way I like to think of it. And there's actually in that symposium that I was just mentioning, Ari Moshe Wolf, my main astrology teacher, did a talk on Saturn and speaks to that. And it's a really beautiful talk. I highly recommend it. It's on my YouTube channel, and you can also access it through that symposium. But then Uranus is the energy. Again, this is one way of thinking of it. Uranus is the energy. So let's say Saturn is an energy that, you know, gently but carefully sets up a certain set of dominoes, right? There's a certain structure that gets formed in time and space for us to play out whatever needs to be played out in our lifetime. And so I think of it kind of like dominoes getting set up in a particular order. And then Uranus comes along and says, oh, well, maybe it doesn't need to be that way. And maybe here's a different, like maybe you can reconceive, revision how you're going to use that Saturnian energy to maybe there's a different way that will serve better in this moment. Like maybe in that moment, that way of setting up those dominoes was perfect. But maybe in this moment, it's not. Maybe now it needs, you know, we need to continually reassess. So the Uranian energy and the Aquarian energy can help us really, again, becoming in from our intelligence as the divine. And then, you know, Uranus in Taurus, also our intelligence as Earth, and Earth as the intelligence of the divine, because we're all of it, of course. So maybe there's a vision, a way of structuring our lives, structuring ourselves even, that is needing to shift or needing to be revisioned to be in alignment with the intelligence that is us as Earth, as the divine. So there's like so many moving parts here, but so what the spirit world essentially is saying to me and wanting me to convey to you is, yes, these energies can feel disruptive, can feel scary, can feel unexpected, etc. But it's really all in service of us being in alignment with ourselves as the divine and as the intelligence of the divine, and giving space for us to be able to reassess how we do that Saturnian way of holding ourselves and holding our lives and holding our societies and holding our communities, and restructuring how we even conceive of all of this. So on a practical level, there are so many ways, of course, to come into the alignment of ourselves as the divine, come into our knowing of our own intelligence as the divine and our intelligence as the earth. And what the spirit world is saying to me as part of my role for supporting that is that each month they would like me to do, a monthly video similar to how I often have done, but then also follow it up with an optional gathering where you could join me in live online through Zoom, or you can get the recording later, where they want to convey a very specific, grounded, practical, spiritual tool, like a tool meant to, that is from one version of the intelligence of the earth, the intelligence of the divine, all as one, to help us navigate, to drop in and to navigate our lives and why we're here in a way that feels grounded, safe, as clear and aligned as possible, given whatever is going on around us. And so for this upcoming month, the month of July, what they would like me to do is on July 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, they want me to hold space for any of you who want to join, to come into what they're calling a 3-part, very practical way of navigating this particular transit, but also just life. And what they say is there are 3 major components of moving through life in a way that is the most aligned and most grounded possible. So those 3 components are, again, to come into the resonance of ourselves as the divine, number 1. Number 2, to radically ground. So it's coming into ourselves as earth. So we're aligned with our resonance as the divine, and we are grounded and aligned with ourselves as earth and the earth as the divine. And then number 3 is clearing our system of anything and everything that's not me, that's not you, right? That's not ourself. So clearing and clearing and clearing and clearing and clearing anything out of our system that's not resonating as us. And then we clear that and we plug it into the divine, so that whatever was, in a sense, plugged into us now is getting sourced by source. And similarly, we also pull back anything that is us that maybe has been energetically somewhere else, pull it back to us and plug ourselves into the divine. So the end result of those 3 things is that we then are resonating as ourselves as the divine. We're grounded in ourselves as earth and the intelligence of this planet, also as the divine. And number 3, we are clear and we're plugged in and sourced by source. So the way I feel that they've been having, spirit worlds have been having me do this for months and months and months. And the effect on me is that when I do this every day, because they typically have me do it in my prayers every day in various forms, I feel centered, I feel grounded, I feel calm, I feel held by the earth, I feel held by source, I feel, like I'm in the womb of source. I feel clear and like physically healthy and well, and emotionally balanced, emotionally really calm, centered, grounded. Again, I'm repeating the same words, but just able to thrive It feels really, really good. So they've been telling me for a while to share these three components, and it hasn't quite felt like the right timing, but now it does. So July 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific. I will put the link if you want to join. I would love to have you there. And I also would love to invite you to give me feedback, give me suggestions for what kind of support you're needing, because I'm sitting with a lot of options right now, and I'm sitting with a lot of things I want to do, things that I have a lot of energy and excitement to do, and people I want to collaborate with, and things I feel really called to do, but I need to choose carefully. So I would love to know from you what would feel the most helpful and what's alive for you. What are you needing and wanting in your life as a result of the symposium, and just kind of also in general holding space for us all to bring forward all of who we are into the world, connecting with ourselves as the divine, connecting with ourselves as this planet Earth, and transforming and healing ourselves and our world on all levels, and being the being that we're here to be, to affect change and to affect healing on this planet. And I'm also getting told right now to just also mention with this alignment, the book, the one book that I've channeled and published 3 books out of 8 of a series now. And the first 3 that are published are Living the One Light, Gaia Speaks, and The Cosmos Speaks. And this alignment of that Uranus in Taurus, having the North Node and Mars conjunct it, and activate all that, those energies, so relevant to the messages that come through in the Gaia Speaks book. So I can say more about that in another video perhaps, but I'm just getting told to mention it because some people find that book really, really helpful, and it was channeled, right? So I honestly often don't remember what I channeled in the things that I channel, and I need to go back and read it because I've gotten a lot of feedback that one in particular is really resonant for people. Maybe I'll even make a video of me reading parts of it. Yeah, some of it is very, very beautiful, and I would like to go back and remember it too. So yeah, the Gaia Speaks is on my website, available in a downloadable version, an e-version, and then also on Amazon as a paperback or as a Kindle book. So there you go. And yeah, be in touch anytime. livingtheonelight.com, livingtheonelight@gmail.com if you want to email me. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions. I'm available kind of off and on in July. And then I'll be available off and on in August also. So there are some times available on my website right now. There'll be lots more coming, but I will say more later. Thank you all again so much to the 1,400 of you who signed up for the Rebecoming the One Symposium. Really, really touched me, everything you guys have said to me. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. And I will see you soon.